Alright, here's our progress on our S10 V8. Everybody's gonna laugh at my creeper, but this thing was free on the side of the road. Alright, here's what Skylar's coming up with. Alright, we got a little bracket here. Alright, we made the cardboard. A little hot. Alright, we got the bolts drilled. We got the way it's going to sit cut out, and this is 1/4" steel, so that is plenty enough. Still got to drill the holes that are going to go into the transmission, and we're going to have to get bigger bolts. But this is basically how it's going to go. And then what we're going to do is, where is that here? There it is. There, Skylar, why don't you line this up, show them how that's going to go in there. Alright, so here's the bracket. Okay, now here's the slave cylinder. Okay, it's going to go in those holes. It's a little hot, so he's having some trouble, but so as you can see, I'll just hold it there for that's fine. They can get the idea. As you can see, we were going to drill a hole in the bracket, but we decided to do it like Tim did it. That's 1/4" steel, so there's plenty of strength in that. So as long as those 2 bolt holes are there and there's enough room for that slave cylinder to get through, basically he's got it so it's going to push on the clutch fork, and then the bracket right there is going to bolt into the slave cylinder, and it's also going to bolt into the transmission. And we think right now that there is not quite enough space here to here from the bracket to the clutch fork. So if anything, we'll put some washers in here or something like that. We're not really sure yet. We haven't compressed it yet and see how it sits, but it's really not a big deal. But this is basically how we're doing it. What you could do if you wanted to is you could you know, put a bend in your bracket so that that's not a problem. But this is a lot easier with some scrap steel laying around. Okay, so that's our slave cylinder problem. All right, once again, like I said, our transmission is in here. Okay. So what we're gonna do next is we got the cross member right here for the transmission, and we cut the bracket off. Right now he just cleaned this up just so it's smooth and everything. We're gonna clean that up better once we figure out where it's gonna go. But this is the bracket that came off of here, and on the transmission it's crooked. So all we're going to do is take the bracket, which we've already cut off. We're going to put the transmission cross member up where it needs to go. The transmission will be sitting right against it. So we're going to jack the transmission up just like 1/8 of an inch, just so it just barely doesn't touch the cross member. And then we're going to put the bracket on. And instead of putting it like this the way it goes, all we're going to have to do is just tilt it, and then we're going to weld it on there. And then worst comes to worst, we might have to cut this out a little bit further, because we've now shortened the bracket by the thickness of the cutoff wheel. I don't know where it went, but thickness of the cutoff wheel, so I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. Plus it was already right tight against this side anyway. So we're probably going to have to grind this out just a little bit. But as you can see, all we'll have to do is weld that on there. This will get all cleaned up, painted, all that nonsense. Same thing with the bracket that we're making right here. This is all going to get painted nice and whatever. That's basically how it goes. Now, I'm going to have to use cardboard cutouts, because from this bolt, the bolt hole is going to be here and here. From this bolt to the center of the slave cylinder is 2.5 inches. from this bolt to the center of the slave cylinder is 2 inches. So it is one way more than the other. I believe the 2.5 inches is to the top. I don't know, but just be aware when you make this bracket, do not center it. That is not what's going on. Make sure you make a cardboard cutout. You don't have to do it as ugly as we did, but you know, there's a lot of grinding and cutting. You'd be surprised what it takes to take this little triangle out of here. But we did it, and it's gonna work. We gotta drill a couple more holes, so probably be another video coming soon. But this is where we're at, and then this thing's ready to go. We're gonna be starting up, hopefully. Hopefully we didn't forget anything. We'll find out. Keep watching and stay tuned and comment and bring your hate mail and all that. I don't care. Thanks for watching.